Well, good evening, Arkansas, and it's March the 10th, and we're talking about winter weather. First and foremost, before we go into any of that, we want to just say thank you to everybody across the state over the last 8 years that has made so much of this possible. When we started this in 2014, we had no idea where this was going to go, and when Dean Travinsky of Channel 4 reached out to us a couple weeks ago about this potential, it was something that we couldn't pass up, because it's an opportunity that we have worked our tails off for over the last 8 years to partner with our local news outlets, especially one of the fastest growing in the state, to help bring awareness to severe and winter weather across the state, and to help coverage from both the social media social media and the television aspect, as weather coverage continues to change, not only in our state but abroad, because you're talking about streaming, you're talking about phones in hand, tablets in hand. You're not talking about everybody on cable, but we thank you folks, because none of this would be possible without the 140,000 followers that we have each and every day across the natural state.
Definitely. So, Pepper, I see your comment here. I can't say very interesting without leaving you guys on a hanger. That's just how I am. I'm going to leave you guys on a hanger. We got a lot to talk about in this live stream, guys. So, thank you, Derek, for that. We really appreciate y'all. All 140,000 y'all, we really appreciate it. Great opportunity with KRK, and great opportunity to work with the Chief, Keith, over here, Keith Monahan. Great opportunity to work with him as well here, guys. So, as you can see on the radar, guys, we got our front boundary moving into northwestern Arkansas right now. Temperatures already falling below freezing. Look at that. You're already at 34 degrees in the Bentonville area right now, 39 in Fayetteville. You got 52 already in the metro right now here, guys. So, you can see the front boundary moving in. It's crashing into northwestern Arkansas. This front boundary is going to be moving on Arkansas, into central Arkansas, by the time we get towards later into the overnight hours tonight, into the first part of your morning, which, as a matter of fact, a lot earlier than we were originally anticipating, because we were thinking that this front was going to make it in northwest Arkansas first thing in the morning. This is now coming in this evening, so that means the colder air is coming in quicker. As you guys know, we've been expecting this. Cold air is going to be coming in quicker, and could mean some snowfall across areas as we get towards tomorrow here, guys. So
the biggest thing to watch for is that I'm very concerned that, and I mentioned this in my live stream on my page earlier this evening on the drive with Derek. I mentioned this possibility that we could see our highs reach around midnight or sunrise across parts of the state. That concern is there. That we could see those temperatures met early, with the temperatures falling throughout the day. When this front comes through, your temperatures crash. Definitely. And the questions are going to be now, how soon? Because the sooner the cold air gets here, and we've seen this time and time again with these winter weather events throughout this winter season, that we have seen these temperatures crash well ahead of the actual moisture coming in. And we have more moisture than expected. Temperatures are starting to trend a little bit colder than expected, so we could be watching for the potential for not only additional accumulation threat, but also the potential for flash freeze.
Yeah, so you can see on our map here, guys. So basically, the gray area is going to be the limited threat. The yellow area that you're seeing is going to be the minor threat. And there's actually, as a matter of fact, I don't know if they've taken it away or not. There was a moderate risk there. They have it over here in northwest Alabama, but basically it was right here in south central Arkansas. But you get the picture, guys. As I've been mentioning before the last couple of days, and Derek's been mentioning this as well, the potential of flash freeze is on the table. That means you're going from above freezing to below freezing at a rapid pace. You're talking at least 2 to 4 hour range that you want to look for that potential of flash freeze here. So we're mainly talking north central Arkansas, and especially our folks down here in southern Arkansas as well. Something that we're just going to have to keep an eye on here as we get towards tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, as that freezing line begins to seek southward here, guys.
This is not the winter storm severity index.
This is not it. This is not the winter storm severity index. This is the flash freeze with that particular product with this, guys. So basically, this is what we got at this point.
And
here.
I know, whenever we've talked winter weather a lot this season, we have talked about the ice. We've talked about sleet. We've talked about ice and sleet so much. Folks, it's going to be snow this time around. All snow. And I can finally say all snow. And we talked about this in our winter outlook in November. We said above average threats for freezing rain and sleet. We said, generally speaking, below average temperature-wise. And then we also mentioned slightly, basically average to slightly above average snowfall across the state, with below average snow across the south. So far, it has hit spot on. And that being said, we also mentioned the possibility of late season winter weather threat. Well, here's our late season winter weather threat. And now, unlike what I said a couple weeks ago when I said that was the last event, this is the last event of the season. I don't see anything else on data, no signals on data that indicate anything differently. But again, if everybody remembers back in 2008, we had a March that was severe, then winter weather, then severe weather, and then we had a winter weather threat as we ended the month of March. So again, I'm saying this is it, but we're not. Don't hold me to it.
Yeah, so as you can see, guys, this is basically what we got at this point. A widespread area of winter weather advisory across this area here, except for far southeastern Arkansas. And I'm fully anticipating probably late tonight or first thing tomorrow morning, you guys should probably be under the winter weather advisory as well here. So we're talking 1 to 3 inches of snow across the area, okay? A good area seeing 1 to 3 inches of snow. Some could be locally higher. We could see some locally higher amounts as well, especially any higher elevations in northwestern Arkansas and into the Boston Mountains here. So speaking of which, let's go ahead and talk about those accumulations real quickly, guys. I'm going to get that up for you guys at this point. But before we get there, let's talk about timing too, okay? Because we've had a lot of people ask us about timing across the board. So we're looking right around that 8 o'clock time frame. We've looked at guidance, trying to figure out what we're going to do for the timing. I think our current timing map is pretty good, okay? So we're talking 8 o'clock to 5 p.m. for northwestern and north central Arkansas. That 3 to 8 from north central down into central Arkansas here across this area, okay? So we're talking from the beginning of the event all the way to the end of the event. And then central, southwest, and eastern Arkansas, at this moment, we got you guys at 6 p.m. to midnight. We may have to extend that to probably 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning with the next update, depending on what trends are going to be looking like at this point.
And it's something I really want to caution people, especially across the Little Rock metro area, is that we could be talking about rush hour snow. And my concern is that with rush hour snow, we're going to see a lot of people starting to freak out. And it's something, again, 33, 34 degrees and heavy snow, roads will just be wet. The bridges will be the biggest concern. However, if temperatures come in a few degrees colder when precip starts, then that's when we're going to be starting talking about a little bit more of issue on the roadways than what we're currently expecting. Again, we've been in the 60s and 70s for much of the last 2 weeks, minus a few days here and there. So roads should not be too much of an issue until we get to late Friday night, early Saturday morning. But again, that being said, we still have to watch for that possibility of that potential. And again, snow, we're only going to have about a 6 to 8 hour window of snowfall, but it's going to be heavy. It's going to be those heavy, big, wet flakes like we're typically used to seeing here in the natural state.
Yep, so for kind of, if you remember back in March 2008, it's getting those kind of vibes across the board here, guys. So they said for this is what we got at this point across central and southern Arkansas, 6 p.m. tomorrow evening, he said, right around lunch, rush hour, okay? And then down in the southeastern Arkansas, we're talking late in the evening, 8, 9 o'clock in the evening into the overnight hours here. That's where you're going to start seeing the snowfall across the area here. But to repeat, all 75 counties tomorrow have the potential of seeing snowfall across the area. Okay, nobody's going to get missed out. Nobody's going to not see anything or anything like that. It's not one of those events where North Arkansas sees it all, Central and South is left out or anything like that. All 75 counties tomorrow have the potential of seeing snowfall and potentially accumulating snowfall for tomorrow here. And as Derek mentioned before, the heavier snowfall banding we're going to have to watch as well. Where does that set up tomorrow? Who could see? If there's banding set up of your location, you can see 3 to 4 inches of snow, etc. So that's why the winter weather advisory says locally higher, because that accounts for the banding potential as well here. Michael, dude, we're going to get into those model guidance here in just a bit here. But
and that's another thing. With the southern tracts of lows, typically, and this is what we've seen all winter season long, is these lows, the last 12 to 24 hours right before an event, they tend to track 50 miles south. Every single event this year has been 50 to 100 miles south of the current forecast. So with that being said, what does that mean? Well, what that means is that if this low tracks 50 miles south, your heavy snow totals come south, because what that does is what we call deformation banding. And basically what that means is the moisture wraps around as the low deepens. It creates an area of heavier precip.
Yep.
And basically where that sets up is where we see isolated totals higher than 2 to 3 inches of snow. Again, across the winter weather advisory, we are expecting 1 to 3 inches of snow. Basically, our forecast says 1 to 3 inches of snow across a large swath of the state.
Yep,
and basically that's what we're expecting. But we cannot rule out those higher totals, especially if things come in colder, wetter, and that banding sets up across a larger area of the state. I would not be shocked to see some places get 4 to 6 inches of snow, especially in the Ouachitas,
higher elevation,
and the Ozarks.
Yep.
But it would also rule out parts of the metro to the delta, up to northeast Arkansas, and down to southwest as well.
Definitely. So what we're going to do, especially with the snow accumulation map right now, pretty good general idea of what we have. Tomorrow morning with the data coming in, we may have to kind of adjust it just a little bit, but I think it's pretty good right now in terms of everything. This accounts for 1 to 2 inches of snow across the area, as Derek mentioned before, locally higher amounts, especially higher elevations of western Arkansas and northern Arkansas as well here. So just kind of keep that in mind here. Go ahead, Derek.
Basically, our biggest philosophy is we would rather forecast under and get more than forecast over and get
bust.
under.
Yeah.
Because y'all never complain whenever you get more snow than forecast. Every time we get under a snow amount, it's a whole different story on the page. So we're going to go with the over and under here and say we're going to say 1 to 3 to be safe. Again, because this is a forecast that can go either way.
Yep, exactly.
Again, don't focus on the 3. Focus on the 1 and the 2 as well.
Yep.
Because some places we'll see 1, some will see 2, some will see 3, some may see over 4. It just really depends on where you're at in the state, elevations, and also how fast you turn over. Another thing we're going to have to watch for tomorrow are winds. Those winds are going to be very, very gusty tomorrow.
Definitely.
And that's something of a concern as well as you're driving, because you're going to have heavy, wet snow.
Yep.
And what that also means is that we're also going to run the risk of seeing those high winds. But those high winds are going to create a lot of travel issues simply because winds 20 to 30 miles an hour. Gusts
40 to 45 miles per hour as well, especially with those gusts. So that's just because of the deepening low. Yep. The deepening low out to our east is going to be beefing up those winds here, especially in the flatlands over here in eastern Arkansas, along 40 down into southeastern Arkansas as well. Northwest Arkansas, deepening of the low, it shouldn't be too bad in terms of the winds, but as you get east into central and eastern Arkansas, especially later on tomorrow and tomorrow night, the low is really starting to strengthen. That's when the winds are going to start getting going here. And also, with the potential of heavy wet snow accumulating on the power lines, if winds do get too out of control, I can't rule out maybe some isolated power outages, especially where you see those 45, 50 mile per hour wind gusts in eastern Arkansas. So power outages shouldn't be too big of an issue, but just kind of watching, especially those that see the 4 or 5, potentially up to 6 inches of snowfall here across
Now,
the
where I would be concerned about the biggest power outage issue is we did see some leafing. With the trees over the last warm spell that we had. And unfortunately it was a little bit too soon, but we did see enough of it. Not a whole lot, but I have seen a few trees out. So heavy wet snow weighing down on any weekend branches, especially from the recent severe weather and winter weather that we had in February, I would not be shocked to see those branches weigh down a little bit more, especially across parts of northern Arkansas. So something we're just going to have to watch. Overall, not expecting a whole lot of power outages with this. Sledding-wise, you're going to have a very small window of opportunity, because by midday Saturday afternoon, we're in the 40s and warming up.
Hopefully, I will say that right now.
Heading back the other direction.
I will say that right now. Saturday is going to have to be watched. It all depends on accumulation too, because the lower amount of accumulation on Saturday will lead to temperatures getting into the 40s. If we have a good area that sees, especially in the higher elevations in northern Arkansas and northeast Arkansas, you start getting 4 or 5 centimeters of snow on Friday night, you're going to have a real hard time recovering on Saturday pre-warm front, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. Right now, we're going with an upper 30s, low 40s time frame on Saturday, but just going to have to watch accumulations with that, because lower accumulations, higher temperatures, bigger accumulation, lower the temperatures as well, okay? But by Sunday at least,
and the one thing
Sunday we're back in the 60s.
The one thing we do have working for us
and
is that the sun angle is much higher. And of course, another thing, we spring forward on Saturday night.
Yep.
So that means we're going to lose an extra hour's sleep. But again, also that means we are getting a little bit closer to spring, climatologically speaking, and that typically means we do tend to see that snow melt a little bit faster in March than say we would in January.
Yep.
But again, everything is dependent upon temperatures and sunshine. I have seen clouds stick around a little bit longer after a winter weather event, so it's something we're going to have to watch as we get into the day on Saturday. But the biggest thing is it's going to be a very nice, pretty snow. It's going to be a beautiful. It's going to be one of those events.
Yeah,
it's going to be one of those events we've not seen all season long, where you just get snow.
As a matter of fact, I think it's. Last year. I don't know if we had those big flakes last year with the 2021 event. So
but it was like 0 degrees.
Yeah, it was like 0, right? Exactly. So this is going to be a typical March snow across the area where you had those big flakes coming down. This is going to be great for snowballs, by the way. Okay, it's going to be good for those as well if you want to get the kiddos out and do everything else. So let me see here. That's all we've got in terms of the accumulation. Now this is our winter preset map. One thing I want to know, especially number 3, I have number 3 highlighted. Temperatures are going to be warm. We say that now, but temperatures are going to be warm, especially in South Arkansas for tomorrow. I know a lot of people are going to wake up. I said this in the live stream earlier. A lot of people are going to wake up tomorrow morning. You're going to be in the 50s and 60s, and you're going to doubt this event. I know that happens every time we get one of these events, especially if it's late in the day.
Yep.
People wake up, it's 60 degrees, they're asking where's the snow. This is going to be late tomorrow evening into tomorrow night. As Derek said before, I'm really worried about that rush hour time frame, especially here in the metro with snowfall. It could be heavy snow falling by that point as well. So just kind of keep that in mind for tomorrow. We're anticipating this, especially North Arkansas, getting the ball started first thing in the morning. And then Central and everybody else will see it tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, into tomorrow night in the overnight hours on Friday and the early Saturday morning.
Again, keep this in mind. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, Northwest Arkansas is going to be in the 20s.
Yeah.
Southeast Arkansas is going to be in the 60s.
60s.
Here's the thing. If this was a major cold front coming in and we had everything in place, if we had dew points higher than what we're going to have tomorrow, we could be talking about severe weather in Southeast Arkansas and winter weather in Northwest Arkansas. But what we're looking at for tomorrow is that cold front crashing into the state, and it already is. It's about 12 hours early.
Yep.
If you want to be technical speaking,
yeah.
As that cold air spills over the mountains, what that means is that those temperatures are going to fall a lot faster. And what that means for us is that the sooner that front comes in, the greater the chance to see more snow and less rain. And some guys are starting to pick up on that.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
something we're going to have to watch for.
Yeah.
As we go throughout the day tomorrow. Again, it's going to be warm in the morning. For many of us from Central, East, and South Arkansas, don't let it fool you. Tomorrow's one of those days. You wear short sleeves in the morning, and you're going to be wanting a winter coat in the afternoon.
Yep, exactly.
And if you're traveling tomorrow, the best time to travel is in the morning. Really, in the morning to early afternoon across much of Central, Southern Arkansas. The biggest snowfall rates won't start till after 4 o'clock. For Central into Eastern Arkansas. South Arkansas won't be until overnight on overnight
tomorrow night,
yeah,
Saturday morning. So
Saturday morning.
Okay, so we're looking at computer model guidance right now here. Okay, so we're going to start the ball off with the NAM here, and then as soon as we're done with this, by the way, guys, I know a lot of people, we had 800 at the beginning, we're at 500 now. There's a lot of people that are impatient with us, man. Folks, we're going to get to y'all's questions as soon as we get all this information out, folks. Y'all got to stay with this. You got to stay with this with the stream. I know it's a long one. It's a lot of information we got to get out to you guys first before we start answering questions, okay? So just keep that in mind. Please tag your family and friends. That way they are prepared for this tomorrow. Because I know a lot of people, they'll come in the live stream, they won't get their questions answered, they leave, and they miss the important part, right? Alright, so this is what we're doing right now. We're going over the information at this point, okay? So this is the NAM, by the way. We're going to know what NAM, we're going to HR and everything else, all the computer model guidance here. But one thing we want you guys to know, we don't go off of guidance, okay? We do, but we don't forecast straight off of guidance, okay? Guidance is meant to direct you into a certain direction in forecasting. It basically is a lot of experience, a lot of things that go with it at this point, okay? So we like looking at models. We like showing y'all the computer model guys, something that we do on the backside, but don't take it to heart. Don't take it 100% guaranteed, because no model is going to be 100% right whenever there's an event here. But you can see what happens by the time we get towards 6 p.m. And this is what we're talking about, Derek, right there with the NAM. And first of all, the NAM, look at the moisture with the NAM here. A very big swath of snow from Jonesboro to Little Rock all the way down to Texarkana at this point. Still some lingering rain in southeast Arkansas, but folks, that is going to change over very quickly. Here you go ahead, Derek.
Yeah. And then, of course, you see, as we go into Friday night, and you can see North Arkansas starting to get cut out behind the snow. It's going to clear off fast.
Yep.
Our concern, when this clears off and there's snow back in place, temperatures are going to tank. And we could be teens and 20s. We're talking teens and low 20s on Saturday morning, with those wind chills in the single digits across much of the state on Saturday morning. But again, Friday night, as you can see, it's still snowing across much of central, eastern, southern Arkansas. Then, as we head out, even into the late night hours on Saturday night, we're still seeing snow. Again, a quick hitter, but we're seeing still a heavy snow across even areas across the Mississippi River. Of course, that's just one guidance model.
Yeah.
And also, I want to note the NAM is much warmer than what current temperatures are showing. Big
time warmer, guys. So you can see this is 0Z, by the way, here. What I'm showing you guys is the wind chills. Okay, look at here. This is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, this is 3 p.m. You've got wind chills in northwestern Arkansas in the teens. All right, so if you're going to be outside playing in the snow, that's all great and dandy, but you got to make sure you got to be prepared, right? Okay, because we're talking 40, 45 mile per hour wind gusts and the wind chills in the teens and 20s across the area, okay? So be prepared for that. I wish we can get one snow event where we didn't have the crazy winds, but that's what we
have to wait till next season.
Yeah, exactly. So this is 6 p.m., by the way. Look at there. Wind chills, upper teens to low 20s across the area, okay? So this is what we're saying. Wind chills are going to get brutal tomorrow evening. If you think this is bad now, look what Derek said before. That cold air, that dry cold air is going to be moving in, okay? So the skies are going to clear. Wind should start to relax as you get later into the night, into the early part of your Saturday morning. But look at your wind chills, okay? Single digits across northern and northeastern Arkansas, teens to low 20s elsewhere here. You're waking up Saturday morning, teens, low 20s, single digits for wind chills across the area, guys. So some very, very brutal airs. We've short-lived, but very, very brutal air coming our way as we get towards the next 24 to 48 hours. Definitely going to be a shock to the system as we get towards your Saturday morning here. Go ahead, Derek.
And then the flip side of that coin is, as much as you have a shock for cold weather, as we get to Monday, guess what? We're back in the 70s.
Yep. And with the severe potential, we're going to talk about that once we get past this event as well here, okay? So this is the NAM, by the way. I said before, take this with a grain of salt. Don't trust any model 100% because it's never going to be right, all right? A broad area of 2 to 4 inches of snow. Poor El Dorado, I don't know what it's doing down there in South Central Arkansas. I already see the comments coming in El Dorado. You don't need to tell me. But a broad area, 2 to 4 inches of snow. Higher in the elevation areas over there in western Arkansas, which you could be seeing 4+. I will say this, especially during the day and tomorrow, don't be shocked if some areas do get put under a winter storm warning. Okay? Because winter storm warning criteria is 4+, unless the forecaster thinks that there could be significant impacts with the 2 to 4. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. Some areas may go under that winter storm warning for tomorrow. That does not mean, I'm going to tell you this now, that does not mean your area will not see snow. Okay, everybody's under the winter weather advisory except for far southeast Arkansas, and that's going to change in the morning. All right, just because you're under an advisory does not mean you're not going to see snow. All right, I'm fully anticipating if winter storm warnings start coming out tomorrow, especially in the higher elevation areas. So just something to keep in the back of your mind for tomorrow here. But this is just one model. So for this is the NAM, a broad area 2 to 4, locally higher amounts, especially in the higher elevations for tomorrow here. Now this is the ZRZHR. Then let's take this one over.
Now this is the high res rapid refresh resolution model. It does okay, and it gives you a general idea of the radar, what the radar will look like at a certain time. Again, fast moving but heavy snow event. And we've seen this time and time again where these heavy snow events at 30, 32, 33, 34 degrees can drop 1 to 2 to 3 inches of snow in a very short period of time. And let's start this out, Cam, and just take it across the state.
Yep, that's about 8 o'clock in the morning. You can
as
see.
we go. And you can see.
That's lunch.
Yep. Lunchtime, we're dry, it's great, nothing going on. This is my concern across much of Arkansas. Again, northwest Arkansas is already getting snow. We're going to be in the 20s up there. In fact, we'll be a lot greater up there because of our temperatures already in the 20s.
You're already below freezing up here in Benton County already. Go ahead.
Again, so let's go and take this out a little bit farther here. So again, as you can see, as we head into mid-afternoon, you start to see that snowfall picking up in intensity, the moisture picking up, and now you have rainfall and even a few thunderstorms showing up on the model. There's something else we're going to have to watch for as well. If we get thunderstorms with this as well, it's called convective precip. Then we're going to have to watch for the possibility of increased totals on that again.
I saw a comment about that earlier. I think it was either Michael D or someone talked about that, how models were suggesting that. And I talked about this briefly earlier with the instability that guy is suggesting. You normally need two what's called instability values or joules or whatever like that, but you need 2 to get thunder. Okay, and that's just a typical rule with any thunderstorm or anything like that. Some could be model guys saying 4 to 6, upwards to 10. That's enough to cause some rumbles of thunder. So that's another thing. Kind of keep in mind for tomorrow. Rumbles of thunder could be possible across the board for tomorrow afternoon, especially tomorrow evening and tomorrow night as the low begins to deepen east of Arkansas here. But go ahead.
Yep. So let's go and take this out a little bit further.
Okay.
Again, as you can see,
and that's right around 5 o'clock.
As you can see, we have a very small window. My concern is that this is going to start out as straight snow. Because what's going to happen is your cold front comes through, we're dry. Bam, all of a sudden temperatures tank. Then your moisture comes in, overriding Arctic air aloft. Well, what do we normally get with that? That typically, normally in March with an event line like this, we should be talking about ice. But that cold air is going to come in. It's a very deep Arctic air mass. It's going to come in fast. We're also talking about what we call a bowling ball low.
Yep.
This is very, very common this time of year to see these upper lows bring their own cold air supply. So we have the Arctic air coming in through the plains, coupled with the upper low coming across that front as it moves northeast. What that means is you're going to have a deepening low bringing cold air aloft all the way down.
Yeah.
And so what that means is that's going to bring the potential for those heavier snow rates down a lot faster, really, than what we've seen all winter long.
Yep, and not to take anything away from you, Derek, but we are getting some comments here from Northwest Arkansas, and this is what I was expecting, folks. We are starting to get some school closures. Some schools have gone virtual for tomorrow up there in Northwest Arkansas here, guys. So Rogers have gone virtual across the area. John and Mark, I appreciate those comments coming in, and I fully anticipate this because you guys are going to get the ball rolling right around tomorrow morning into the day tomorrow, okay? But as I said before, for our folks here in Central and Eastern Arkansas, this is going to be a late game for you guys. This is going to be a late event for us here in this area.
And this is my concern. Guys is very keen, and timing is very keen on this coming through a rush hour across from Jonesboro to Little Rock to Texarkana.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that could mean a bigger issue than what we want to see.
We saw this with the last ice event where everybody was getting out and we had ice coming in and it created just chaos.
You're going to have schools getting out. You're going to have all your businesses getting off at the same exact time. And as we know, especially around the metro area, things get hectic. Now, even along I-30, I-40 into East Arkansas, 530 going south, 67, 167 going northeast. Again, the roads are not going to be bad. It's going to be the traffic issues that are going to be worse for everybody freaking out because of the snowfall. Bridges and overpasses are going to see the main impacts. which means the 430 bridge, the 440 bridge, the 30 bridge, all your river bridges especially are going to see the first impacts from this event. The biggest thing we have going for us with road conditions is the fact that we've had 2 weeks of about 60 and 70 degree weather. However, like I said, this cold air coming in sooner, that could change.
I'm really worried about that too. Because I'm looking at our temperature map here, guys. You're looking at one screen. Me and Derek are looking at another. You're already at 41 degrees in North Little Rock. My concern is this: your temperatures are falling very quickly with the nocturnal inversion. Right? Okay, cold front's moving through. What I'm worried about tomorrow is that with your low-level moisture coming in, you have cloud cover in place for much of the day tomorrow. That's what I'm really worried about, and that could lead to temperatures busting further than what we were anticipating. And another thing you were talking about, Derek, with us not seeing a lot of rain, is with temperatures in the upper 30s, low 40s, you got cloud cover, nothing's going on. That's going to drop your road temperatures. It's going to drop your ground temperature because you're cold, right? So that's what's basically going to be going on as we get towards tomorrow here. So something to kind of keep an eye on here. But as Derek mentioned before, with us being in the 60s and 70s, that's going to help us out initially. Yeah. That's going to be our boost initially for this thing not going crazy right out of the gate. It's just tomorrow night, because you're rapidly dropping below freezing and the roads are going to be wet. That's what you're going to be looking for, potential of some black ice as you get towards tomorrow night and into the first part of your Saturday morning.
Now let's go and take this out and just go on the show.
Go ahead and look at this. This is the HRR, by the way. You guys can see this. I'm going to draw this out. Derek, I'm going to let you explain this. Go ahead.
Basically, this is what we call deformation banding.
Yeah.
And this is what the HR is really picking up on well. And this is something we look at when we start talking about these type of events. We start looking at this and say, hey, we see this banding here, we see this band there. Well, that could cause an issue for increased snow amount, especially if it falls heavy enough over a short period of time. Again, we're talking about a very quick hitting storm. Normally these events don't cause that much snowfall across the state, but if you have heavy snowfall rates like we're going to see tomorrow, then that could bring initially a little bit higher amounts than what we would typically see with an event like this. But the reason why we are sticking with the 1 to 3, because of your ground temperatures, because of your sun angle, and because of the fact this is such a fast-moving system.
Yep.
For central, northeast, southwest, east central, and southern Arkansas, the one thing that you got going for you is going to be overnight. Your sun angle won't be as much of an issue as it will in northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, I was going to say your melting rates during the overnight hours is virtually almost zero because you have no sun, you have no radiation. Okay, so Jessica, I see that comment. Don't see nothing in southern Arkansas. I want to stress I want to stress that we're not expecting a big issue down there, but I know there's going to be people when they see snow. It's not so much as the snow that we're worried about. We're so much worried about, the other drivers getting out. When there's snow falling, there's a lot of people that will try to get home as quick as they can. Speed, and that's what could lead to some big accidents. We saw this with the ice event, folks. Yep. Everybody was trying to get home, cutting each other off, trying to get home. That's what we're worried about, okay? Yep. We're not worried so much about the snow being an issue. We're worried about how everybody's going to react to it, and everybody trying to get home, everybody trying to get to the grocery stores and stuff like that, guys, okay? So that's what we mean here. That's what we mean. But we still could see snowfall across southern Arkansas here in SO4. Impact shouldn't be that big, but that will depend on how much accumulation you get in those areas as well here. And as Derek mentioned before, with you being overnight, you don't have the sun, you don't have no radiation. That's what's going to boost your chances of seeing higher accumulation across the board here. Go ahead, Derek.
Yep. And again, another thing to mention, especially across state, our chase team is going to be out tomorrow. Yep. Obviously, Cameron and I are going to be out in the field for Channel 4 tomorrow, covering this event. So we're going to have live streams going, so you will know exactly what the weather's doing on our live streams tomorrow. And of course, we'll share the link whenever we do go live. Obviously, depending on when I get off of work tomorrow. But once again, we will be streaming this live.
Definitely.
So what the road conditions are. We don't have a setup point yet, but our team is going to be out around the state. I know we're going to have a team in Mountain Home. We're going to have a team in Jonesboro. We're going to have a team in West Memphis. We're going to have a team in White County. Cameron and I haven't decided where we're going to be yet, but we're going to be somewhere along 40, 30, somewhere in that area, depending where the heaviest band's set up tomorrow evening. But we will be out giving you frequent updates on conditions around the state.
Yeah, Richie, he said RDOT has been out pre-treating roads. Derek, you were out on the roads earlier. Did you see?
Yes.
Yes, okay. All right, so I know he was down there in Hot Springs. I don't know if they were treating the metro or not, but basically that's what's going on here. You can see what the issue is, okay? So there's snow coming in. It's around 9 o'clock, and I said before, there could be some areas, especially in southeast Arkansas. I talked about this briefly. There could be a brief moment as you're transitioning over from rain to all snow. There could be a brief moment on where we see sleet, okay? Not expecting a big ice event with this, okay? Folks, if you're just now tuning in, I know it's going to be everybody tuning in trying to figure out cities, counties, etc. Take a look at our page, okay? If you're brand new, I know everybody kind of rushed to the page when we made that big announcement. Take a look at our page, guys. We got all the information there here. We're not going to sit here on live stream for 5+ hours trying to answer everybody's specific city and county questions here. All the information is going to be on the page at this point, guys. But back to what we were saying here. I talked about this earlier, Derek, how we could see a dusting of sleet. And you work outside, you know how sleet can impact the ground temperature and stuff like that. And I'm worried that if some folks see a dusting of sleet before the snow, that could aid a little bit in the accumulation here. So
it's just something that we're going to have to watch as we go throughout this event. Once again, like we said, we're not expecting a major event. We're not expecting a winter storm. But again,
It's gonna be a wait and see. It's
really gonna be a wait and see. Again, the only reason why I would not expect a winter storm is because of the fact is just the time of year that we're on. Another thing is that by Saturday evening, you'll be able to get out, do your thing, go to the stores. Don't rush the stores for this event. It's gonna be a very short-lived event. There's no need to go out and rush the stores. Anything like that. It's gonna be snowing tomorrow evening. Saturday morning will be the worst travel. By Saturday afternoon, we'll start to see a lot better travel. And then, of course, by Sunday, we're in the 60s, and this is a distant
even some low
memory.
70s. Even some low 70s on Sunday.
This will be the last event. I know I said the last event was going to be the last event, but this event will be the last event of the season.
Hold him to it. Hold him.
But then
Arkansas, hold him to that.
Then we're going to start talking about severe weather. I'm afraid that's going to be often.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that after we get through this event.
Yeah, definitely. So, Allison, I want to make just a comment. I want to make a comment about this too while we're talking about this. And I'm going to take care of 2 birds, 1 stone here. Somebody asked about accumulations. This is accumulations with the HRR. We're talking 3+ here. We're going to watch that. Notice the streaking, by the way. Okay, that's what we're talking about with those heavier bands that may set up across the air. Look how it's highlighting the I-30 corridor as well. Okay, and then 2, Allison, with your question, folks, I want to announce this. Okay, our partnership with KRK changes nothing with us. Okay, nothing content-wise or anything like that's going to change. Okay, nothing's changing here at Arkansas Weather Watchers. We're not leaving. We're not going anywhere. Everything remains the same. It's just a partnership. Okay, it's basically what happened in 2014 with me and Derek. Derek started the page. He asked me to join. I shook his hand and we joined. Okay, that's a partnership. It's a big difference. Okay, and we're not leaving or anything like that. Because I know everybody's tuning into this live stream trying to figure out if this is going to be our last one or not. But folks, we're not leaving. Okay, Arkansas, all our stuff remains the same. We're only getting better. That's it.
Basically, you are combining Arkansas's #1 social media source for weather with Arkansas's most fast and accurate TV
network. Yep.
Yes.
Exactly.
And basically, that is basically what you're doing. You are combining the 2 juggernauts of this state into one to keep Arkansas safe, both on the ground
and on the air.
And
on social media as well.
Basically. Constant live streams for severe weather, constant updates for severe weather, and working alongside some of the best meteorologists in the state to keep this state safe. And again, we don't really know everything this is going to entail yet. But again, we're not leaving you. We know you ain't leaving us. We're not going to let you down. This is only going to enhance what we've already started here
It's just an enhancement
at AWW, and we could be more proud of it.
Definitely.
Especially with both the chase team and the weather team joining forces with KRK and the Arkansas Storm team.
Exactly. So I hope I pronounced this name right, Jana. I hope I pronounced that right. Please forgive me if I didn't. Yes, this will hit, especially North Louisiana.
Yep.
Central Louisiana down just south of 20, not spreading a lot. But yeah, this will definitely help you guys down there. And also, if you're North Louisiana, there is a great meteorologist, Jerry Floyd. He's a great guy down there in Monroe. He'll keep you guys updated down there in North Louisiana. You can find him on Facebook. Really great guy to listen to in terms of the weather down there in North Louisiana. Okay, so basically, okay, guys, so I know everybody's trying to figure out about the gradient. Don't focus on the colors, guys, okay? My thing is everybody's just going to see the potential of snow tomorrow, okay? I know amounts is going to vary across the board, but everybody across the entire state has the potential of seeing snowfall as we get towards tomorrow here, okay? So, Trey, great question. Looking at the potential wind gusts. Also, guys, he does need to go to bed. So if at some point you need to go, bro, go ahead. I'll take it over. But we're not going to make this a super long live stream, okay? We're just going to try to answer some questions and stuff like that. And then we're going to relax because we got a long day for you guys tomorrow, too. We got to get rested up for the live streams and everything, okay? So let me see here. Going over everything. Okay, so Trey, I'm trying to get to yours real fast. Let me go to wind gust. There it is. Okay, so wind gust potential tomorrow, 30 to 40 miles per hour. Okay, so this is the HR at a 0Z, by the way. New data that you're coming in. This new data is coming in right now, by the way. As I said before, I'll probably be up first thing in the morning, giving you guys some updates on the updates as well here. Okay, you guys know I'm gonna be here tomorrow too. Alright, so what it does, and this is what I'm saying, throughout the day tomorrow, it's not bad. Wind gusts, maybe as high as 30 miles per hour and higher elevations, but it's not bad tomorrow because your system's still weak. Mm-hmm. Look what happens as your system begins to bottom out east of Arkansas. Your wind gusts really start to accelerate across the area. 35, 40, upwards to 45 mile per hour wind gusts in eastern, central, and the southeastern Arkansas, okay? So this is what we're looking at, and you can really see right here, by the time you get towards 8 o'clock, you're approaching near 50 miles per hour near the Mississippi River, and it's really going to start expanding out as you go east of the state, as you get closer to the low, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind for tomorrow here, folks. Wind gusts are going to be up there. Wind chills are going to be a problem, but then by the time we get towards Saturday morning, here's Saturday morning. Wind gusts 20, 25 miles per hour. Winds are going to start calming down as the system moves away. And if you live in the Northeast, by the way, this is going to be a nor'easter that's going to come up there. It's going to be a powerhouse coming into the Northeast. Okay, here, guys. So, Dustin, thank you for that comment. For that, and here's to the next 8 years and beyond. Great stuff here. I appreciate that, man. Let's say before, we wouldn't be here for you guys. Okay, Seth, no, you should be good to go by Saturday evening. Oh, everybody's got plans on Saturday. Saturday morning,
we'll be fine by Saturday evening.
I promise you, we'll be okay by Saturday evening. This is not going to be a 2021 repeat where we had road conditions being treacherous for like a whole week. It's going to be first thing Saturday morning that you're going to have to watch out for travel. By the time you get towards the afternoon hours, you should be good to go because the roads are going to recuperate quick. They're going to be the first things to recuperate. It's going to be the first things to melt. It's going to be good to go on the roads. The back roads, maybe we'll have to wait and see. Maybe may be some issues back there, but in terms of the main roads, you should be good to go by the time you get towards midday Saturday. Just watch out first thing Saturday morning, getting up and commuting across the area. Okay, guys? I know everybody's asking about the cities. Take a look at the page. All your information's got to be there. Idea on heavier banding. No. You're not going to get that. No matter where you go, you're not going to get where the heavier banding is going to set up. That's something that we don't know until it happens. We don't know where it's going to set up until it physically happens on your location. Okay, so keep that in mind for tomorrow. I don't know where the heavier banding is going to set up. That's why models are all over the place. Allison answered your question too. Models are all over the place because they're trying to figure out where the banding is going to set up. All right. That's why we're saying is, it's not going to be, we're not going to know where it's going to be. Time frame mounts, by the way. So before Pat, thank you. Pat is one of our new moderators, by the way. Welcome him to the page. He's going to be helping Eden with the page as well here, guys. And he made a great point. Specific cities and county forecasts can be found on our page, guys. We're not going to sit here and go over all that in the live stream. All that can be found on the page here.
Yep.
Michael, I see the 1 to 2 inch per hour snow rates if guidance has its way. I'm going to see what morning data does. I don't want to buy it just yet because it's just 0Z. But I want to see what the morning data is going to do. We'll go from there.
We don't forecast off
and then
of
that
models.
too, right? Exactly.
We forecast off of everything. We don't go this model said this,
Exactly.
that model said that.
Exactly.
That is poor meteorology and very poor forecasting technique.
Definitely.
You have to look at the broader picture. You have to look at climatology. You got to look at temperatures. You got to look at dew points. You got to look.
I'm worried about that too.
Yep, all these different things you have to look at.
And you can see here. With temperatures here, temperatures are not, the guidance is not doing well with temperatures at all.
Yeah.
I mean, we're Northwest Arkansas, you're already approaching, you're at 32 right now in Bentonville, okay?
Yeah.
So, guidance is not handling temperatures at all. That's why whenever we get to day 1, we barely look at model data. We look at what's called real-time data, the OBS, okay? Basically, that's the observant information. What are we looking at in terms of what's going on right now? And that's what we go off of. We go off of real-time data, especially on day 1. Day 1, real-time data will help you out so much versus the computer models here. So,
again, the biggest thing is we're going to be watching this. We're going to be tracking this again. We'll be in the field tomorrow, tracking this as well for you. So it's going to be a little bit different. We will have our team in studio updating via studio. And then, of course, same as we had last time, I'll be live on my page again. Same exact thing that we did last time around.
Yep.
With the severe weather on Sunday. Of course, you will be catching us as well on Channel 4 and 16 from around the state. So, again, lots to pay into, lots to watch going forward. The next 24 hours are going to be fun. They're going to be crazy for first or weather. Then we're going to turn around and talk spring.
I was going to say, as a matter of fact, Derek, for the live stream tomorrow, because we have a brand new page. By the way, it's not going to be announced tonight because it's 11 o'clock, obviously. But it's going to be first thing in the morning. Me and Derek are going to have, we're not leaving Arkansas Weather Watch or anything like that, but we chase a lot. And we're going to have a page called the Extreme Prodigy page, okay? Mm-hmm. Basically, it's a combination of my page and his personal page into one. That's probably where we can be doing the live streams. Mm-hmm. That way everybody can see what's going on and stuff like that. And you guys, so far, you're going to see us on here, and then you're going to see us on KRK as well, okay? So, I think that's all we got in terms of everything. Come to my neck of the woods, I'll buy y'all lunch. Mike, I'm going to have to hold you to that.
Dustin, the biggest difference is... No, we don't. One, we don't have to have all the gear. 2, you don't have tornadoes that can potentially run you over, like we almost had on Saturday night.
Oh yeah, and that was intense. I'm gonna tell you that now. It was
and you're
intense.
not having to chase in the Ozarks with hailstones flying at you. So again, snow is a lot easier to chase, especially heavy wet snow, because it's a lot easier to drive on. Again, the only reason why we didn't do this for the ice is because it's ice, and sleet is a lot harder to drive on as well. So, but once again, we thank you for joining us and trusting us. We're going to keep an eye on this, as we do everything else across the state. And of course, we will be watching very closely as to what this does overnight, because how these temperatures react overnight, and in the morning, we'll make a determination on if the forecast needs to be changed here going out. Right now, the forecast is set, and we hope to not have to change it again, but it's Arkansas. And Arkansas does its own thing, as we've learned all winter long.
Definitely. Things
have come in deeper, come in colder, and tend to do a lot more than what is currently forecast.
Don't worry, we're not going to forget anybody when we get to the top. We're humble here. We're humble. Don't worry about that. You ain't got to worry about that at all. Me and Derek both come from that South Arkansas mentality, man. It's, when you get to the top, you don't forget the people you come across at the bottom of the ladder, okay? So, we're not going to forget about anybody here. We're not going anywhere, folks. We're still here. It's just us getting better. It's just us getting better. We're going to be here until, and here's the thing. Me and him are gone. We got Noah, okay? In the end, the next generation. We're not going anywhere. We're going to stay here until the time ends. So for guys, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for the crazy reactions on Twitter, on Facebook, guys. We're really excited about the partnership. We're not going anywhere, guys, okay? I promise you. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be here.
Yep.
We're going to keep you guys. That's going to be changing, okay?
Nope.
All we got to say is we'll keep you guys updated right here on your source for all things Arkansas weather.